How's it going, Suron community? Suron and Segway now, I guess. Here I have the Kaniwaba power pedal kit. I ordered this on Thanksgiving and it got here yesterday, which was Friday. Pretty quick shipping. They shipped it out, I believe, on Tuesday, and it got here on Friday from Medellin, Colombia to Southern California. That's pretty fast. So I'm impressed with how quickly I got it. When it comes to pedal kits in general, the only one that's been really available is the one that Luna sells, and the one that I guess is designed by Suron. And that one actually mounts to like the 4 bolts right there on the 4 holes on the swing arm. So, and the free roll runs in line with the main chain, and those are like 2 really big weaknesses in terms of design, and a lot of people just aren't happy with it, and anyone who had it really had it only for legality purposes. In California, getting a moped plate is hit or miss, but you don't have to have pedals for a moped if it's all electric here in California, so it's not a big deal. But if you're trying to class 2 the bike, running a lower power battery and pedals, and wanting to go on bike lanes and certain trails and paths, then you do need to have operational pedals. So that's one of the things that made me want to get this, because I used to commute with this bike, and I had a 72 volt Lightspeed battery, 2 of them actually, and ASI BAC 4000. Bike was fast. It could go over 70 easily, and I put over 10,000 miles on it commuting. And once I changed my office, pretty much I was not riding this bike anymore, and I'm like, oh, what can I do with it? Having all the street legal lighting on it was kind of deterring me from taking it anywhere but riding it on the street. So I decided to strip it down, pick up this X160 battery, and just see where it would be in terms of specs. And what's nice is in eco mode, it won't break 20. In sport mode, it won't break 30. And I was like, hey, you know what? Let me look at what pedal kit options are available now. Dean Webb was working on one. It looked pretty good, but it still mounted to the swing arm, which I wasn't happy with. And then I saw a bunch of people doing like different types of fake pedal kits that would run through either the OEM brackets, and even Kaniwaba had one where it's essentially just a long spindle running through brackets. And the only benefit of the Kaniwaba one was they actually pressed in some bearings in there, so that would make it a lot smoother, and you wouldn't have any metal on metal spinning. And then on Thanksgiving, I was just browsing around, and then I saw a photo of like what looked like a freewheel attached to by chain to the jack shaft, very similar to how the Motoped's pedal kit would run. And I was like, oh man, that looks awesome, because you're not gonna have any chain growth, you're not gonna have to mess with the main chain, and it should be technically pretty reliable. So I was like, oh, okay. Looked at some videos and decided to just order one right then and there, and here it is. I installed it yesterday. The install was not as easy as their installation video. I think it's primarily because of the age of my bike. My kickstand doesn't have the integrated bushing on the bolt. So the older Surons, they have like a bushing sleeve that you need to press out, and you might have to shave it down a little bit to get it to fit inside the actual kickstand mount that comes with the Kaniwaba adapter. So that was really annoying, and it probably took me the longest out of anything when it came to the install. So once I got that in, I thought everything would be free and clear, but no. The other issue that I had was the dust cover. So the dust cover, which you cannot reuse after you remove it, that mine was just like solid as a rock. I could barely bend it. It's probably because it's 2 years old. And the other issue was there's like a little Allen bolt on that end, right next to the belt. That thing, you can only really get in there and do a quarter turn at a time, and that was just driving me mad. Just trying to line up that Allen bolt and and spin it out. But I eventually got there and was able to line everything up and get it going. In terms of reliability, some people who already have this kit had talked about this, the freewheel adapter slipping. And I had that initially when I first put it together, but then I went back and then I actually torqued these down with a 5mm Allen bit on a ratchet and got some really good torque on it, and it hasn't been slipping. I rode through about 2 miles of hills, and I would actually power it down just to see if I could get enough torque to slip it. I'm sure if I just put the bike down like and lock down the rear wheel and just put as much weight as I could on it, it'll slip. But right now it's doing what it needs to do. So if you do get one of these kits, just make sure you put on a decent amount of thread locker and just really torque down on those 5mm bolts. Not to the point where you're going to snap off the heads, obviously, but just give it a good amount of torque so it doesn't slip. And yeah, and if it slips again for me, I'm probably just going to leave it, simply because I don't trust this freewheel. It's a pretty high quality freewheel. It's definitely better than like a ACS, like double bearing, like a Crossfire freewheel. I don't know if it's as good as like a White Industries freewheel, but if the freewheel fails and it locks up, I don't want these crank arms like spinning at, you know, at 1,000 miles per hour, just slapping up my shins. So, well, it would probably be the back of my feet. So my Achilles tendon, I don't want these nice little spikes to hit me there. And yeah, so I'd rather it slip than actually just start flipping the cranks. So if you do have issues, what I would recommend if you want to fix it is just go ahead and remove this side of the kit, this hanger, undo the locking collars on both ends and the two on the freewheel. Go ahead and slide out the shaft, and just where you see the bite marks on the spindle, you could probably just dimple one end, so one of the Allen bolts will have a nice place to bite down. I don't think you really need to do both ends, because the reality of the matter is you're not going to be putting a whole lot of torque with your pedal power. So people were like wondering, oh, why didn't they go with a 420 chain on the actual kit? I mean, this is going to be running human power, so there's really no reason to beef up that chain. So I don't have the rear wheel off the ground, so I can't pedal it forward, but you can see the freewheel working. I haven't leaned up against this wall because I don't, with the kickstand down, if you pedal backwards like any bike with a kickstand, the rear pedal will just stop on that kickstand. We'll see how it goes. I mean, if that the freewheel adapter collar slips just way too much, I may dimple one end, but we'll see. Like I said before, safety-wise, obviously this is afterthought design, just like the other pedal kit. So it's not going to be perfect, but this is the best one out there so far, and it's the one I would recommend if you're going to get a pedal kit. If this was 2018, I would say get the Luna kit, because at the time it was 75 bucks, but now it's 150. I would just pay that $50 more, get this with the crank arms, and buy your own pedals, unless you don't have any pedals. But yeah, this is definitely far superior in design to the original Sur-Ron kit, which is like essentially a Walmart bottom bracket that's welded to another bracket that attaches to the swing arm. So that's pretty much it. I may do a video of myself just riding up a street, but we'll see.